Hello, welcome back to the third part of this project, which is basically installing the software and all that stuff that needs to get this thing up and running. Now, you will need some pieces of extra software besides the stuff that goes into the Raspberry Pi. You need to be able to image the Pi and what's called SSH and VNC into it. The VNC is actually optional. It just makes life a lot easier if you VNC into your Raspberry Pi. So before we get started, let's go ahead and take a look at all the software you need first. Okay, so one of the first things you're going to need is this, the Raspberry Pi Imager. This basically builds the Raspberry Pi OS for you, so you don't have to go source it. Trust me, this has been a lifesaver in the maker community, because before, getting your OS onto your Raspberry Pi was a little pain in the butt. So definitely download this. I'll show you how to use this once we get started. The next thing you will need is this thing called Putty. All right, Putty basically allows you to do command terminals into your Pi, which you will need to do configurations, update, and set it up for being able to receive files. The next thing you need is VLC, all right, or VNC, okay? What this will allow you to do is remote desktop into your machine. So just in case you don't have access to your screen or you lost your control pad for your monitor or your Raspberry Pi, you can actually use your own keyboard and mouse that's currently using on your computer as the keyboard and mouse for the Raspberry Pi. Again, this one's actually optional, but I do recommend you use this or download this and use it, and I will be showing you how to deal with this once we get started. Okay, once you've downloaded the software, the Raspberry Pi Imager, Putty, and VNC, go ahead and plug your micro SD card into your computer. You might need a card reader for it, or your computer actually, like mine, has a slot for micro SD cards, so just plug it in. It should mount as a drive letter like any other external hard drive, and now we will format it with the Raspberry Pi image file. So let's move on to that. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is install our Raspberry Pi operating system. Just like Windows or Mac, the Raspberry Pi needs an operating system, and that's what this is for. So like I said before, this has made things a whole lot easier. So the first thing we're going to do is choose our device. We bought a Raspberry Pi 4. We're going to choose our OS. We're going to go ahead and select Raspberry Pi OS. All right, let's go ahead and choose our micro SD card. All right, I know it's this one here, this micro SD card. Drive letter T on mine. I don't know what it'll be on yours, but just make sure you're selecting the right one. You will end up erasing everything on it, so just be aware of that. Okay, so Raspberry Pi has a secret menu that I wish you had a button down here that didn't have a secret, but there's a secret menu you need, and it's Control-Shift-X. This is a very important menu, because this is where we're going to set up your SSH information. So as you can see, I already put stuff in here. So A.D.'s TV, let's go ahead and name it A.D.'s TV, A.D. TV, okay? All right, so your username to log into your Raspberry Pi through SSH, that Putty program. This is the information you're going to need, so remember this. This is very important you remember this. So we're going to go ahead and do ABC 1, 2, 3. I don't plan on keeping this, so this particular build, I've already built this on another card, so I'm just showing you guys. All right, so if you have a Wi-Fi, which is how you connect to it, go ahead and put your information in there, your name of your Wi-Fi, and then your password for your Wi-Fi. Go ahead and put that in there. Set your local time information, because you want the clock on your thing to be correct. All right, you shouldn't need any of these. All right, you want to use password authentication, obviously, duh. And then that's pretty much it. All this should already be checked for you. If not, go ahead and check those. So that's pretty much it. So A.D. TV and ABC123 is the password I'm going to use. You pick something different. You make sure you have something that you're going to remember, because you notice you don't get a second chance to put it in. If you forget or whatever, then you're going to have to do this whole step all over again. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to next. All right, would you like to apply the OS custom settings that you just made? Yes, I would. All right, it's just letting you know everything on the card will be erased. So yes, I get that. And then basically you go get a cup of coffee and it'll install. Okay, now that it's on your card, go ahead and eject it from your computer and put it into your Raspberry Pi and start it up. You should see it starting up. If you plugged everything in right, your monitor will come on, and it will probably be upside down. But don't worry about that. We'll fix that in the next video. Okay, now that your Raspberry Pi is running, we need to use Putty. That's this program here, to basically go into your Raspberry Pi's system behind the scenes and do some configurations so it will work with not only your network, but all the bells and whistles that you need to do to get it running, and easily drag and drop files onto your Pi to play on the TV. So first thing we do, let's go ahead and type in the name of your Pi. Remember, ours was called A.D.D TV, and then we got to type in .local. Okay, and then something like this will pop up on your screen. Go ahead and just click accept, and then you'll see this. Now, if you remember your username password that you created, which I do, which was A.D.'s TV, and password was ABC123. Okay, so once we get this green colored information here, we know we've logged on perfectly. Now, the next few steps is something I do with every single Raspberry Pi. Doesn't matter what project it is, whether it's the TV one or the picture frame one, Octopi, whatever, CyberDeck. I do this next few steps on every single Pi. First thing you want to do is update it. So sudo apt or application update. Okay, and I went to sudo apt upgrade. Okay, so basically what this is doing is making sure I have the latest packages and installers and all that good stuff from Raspberry Pi. Do you want to continue? Yes. All right, and again, this is actually good practice for a Raspberry Pi system, is to do this every once in a while anyways, because it doesn't really have a manual or automatic update like most operating systems do. So the next thing we're going to do is install something called Samba. It's a protocol for Windows machines to talk to other machines. Raspberry Pi uses Unix, so it doesn't have this particular protocol. So we have to install it so you can access it through your PC and just drag and drop files onto the Raspberry Pi, as opposed to taking it apart, pulling out the thumb drive, putting it in, and loading up your files, and then putting it all back together. That gets annoying. So again, I do this with all my Raspberry Pis. So let's start out with typing in sudo apt install Samba. Okay, that's going to go do its thing. You want to continue? Yes. Now that Samba is installed, the next thing we got to do is find out where that hard drive is that you put in, the thumb drive. So I'll show you where it's at. It's under, if you go cd ... that'll take you back a directory. Now you're at home, cd ... again, and now you should be at a slash. Okay, so once you're there, type in ls for list, and you should see something called media. All right, cd media. Okay, ls, let's see what's in there. A.D.'s TV. That's exactly what we want. Let's go ahead and type in ls-al just to confirm that's the only thing in there. So cd A.D.'s TV, ls, and there's our SanDisk. All right, cd s, and if you hit the tab, it'll autofill for you. There we go. So as you can see, I already have transformers and stuff on here. So this is exactly what we're looking for. Media, 80s TV, SanDisk. Okay, so that's the path we want to remember. So let's go ahead and write that down. Media's TV, SanDisk. Okay. So let's go ahead and type in cd tilde to get back home. All right. Let's configure our config file, sudo nano. Nano is their text editor, like, Notepad or whatever for Windows. Theirs is called Nanos. And we got to tell it where this file is that we want to open up. So it's in the ECT directory under Samba. Okay. And then smb.conf. Okay, so once it's opened, okay, come down here to work groups. I see the word work group there. And we're going to type in security equals user. And then 2, 3, netbios name equals the name of our Pi, which is A.D.TV. Okay, let's go ahead and go all the way down to the bottom and set up our shared directory. So all this stuff, right? Open close bracket. Inside the bracket, we're going to put the name of our shared directory, which we call A.D.TV. You can name it whatever you want, but I keep things simple. Name it the Pi. Right, space. Call it. We want it public equals yes. 2 space. Browsable. Yep, we want to be able to see what's in there. Equals yes. Writeable. Of course. Want to be able to put stuff on there. Equals yes. Where is it located on the Pi? Well, if you remember writing that directory down, we go to path equals media A.D.TV SanDisk. Okay. Alrighty. Guest can log on, just in case it doesn't recognize where you're logging on from. We'll go ahead and put that to guest OK equals yes. There we go. 1, 2. Let's see. Create mask. All right. All this is doing is setting permissions to allow you to read, write the entire directory. Oops. Spell create, right? There we go. Create mask. Comment. All right, this is kind of optional. It's just to let a little diagram know what it is. TV. All right. Okay. Do we want to allow a guest account? Why not? UEST equals A.D.TV. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead and force all users. Oops, FORCE user equals A.D.TV. And then directory mode. Again, just like we did before for creating the mask on it, you want to give you all the permissions in the world. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So we go to Control X to save it. Do you want to save the buffer? Yes, we do. Save it to that file? Yes, we do. And now we have to restart Samba. So sudo system control restart smbd. That's it. Okay, so we're going to actually take a break I was trying to get all this in one video, but it looks like we're gonna have to break this up into another video. So we're gonna call it quits for this section. The next video is going to basically tell you how to adjust your monitor, put in the monitor drivers, rotate it, and set it to inside the television frame. And after that, we'll do audio, and then I'll show you how to access your Raspberry Pi TV, and that's it. We should be done. Hopefully one more video is all we need. So I'll see you in the next one.